Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am streaming to you live from beautiful Budapest here, the capital city of Hungary, situated in Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day so far and has had a great week. Looking forward to a nice weekend. Today, for this members chat class, we are looking at speaking part 2 of the speaking section in the IELTS exam. Hi, Roshni. There's one of our members joining in. I hope you've had a great week. The speaking, of course, is the same for general, academic, paper, and computer-based versions of the test. It's a 15-minute interview face-to-face with an examiner where you have 3 parts. Part 1, some questions on general topics about you. Part 2, a cue card. And then Part 3. Makonnen, Preeti, Kisi, Jayaram, Zainab, Chantal, Amarjeet, and Li Ying. Good to see all of you. Li Ying, I just sent you an email about your premium package membership. So fantastic. Looking forward to having you on board. Any questions, members? All you have to do is send us an email, contact us. Hi, Danish. Hi, Ferdovs. Students, our IELTS world-class materials are available at aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com and GIELTShelp.com for the general version of the test. You can download, you should download our app for the academic called Academic IELTS Help. Look for our shield in your app store. Alexander, a konnichiwa to you as well. All right, students. Again, this is my email. Members, you can send me requests. Adrian, ADRIAN, at aehelp.com. Today, for this members chat class, again, speaking part 2 and speaking part 3 coming up after, where everybody will be able to join in on the chat. All right, members, without further ado, let's warm up our speaking. Okay, so everybody watching, members, make sure to repeat. Okay, repeat questions, repeat answers, write down new vocabulary to learn for later. Learning vocabulary in context is exceptionally effective, and that's certainly what you're doing in these kinds of classes. So when you catch a new word, don't let it slide. Write it down, not just words, but new phrases like what I just used. Don't let it slide. Don't let it slide is an expression that means don't lose it, okay? Or don't ignore it. Don't let it slide. All right, so let's warm up a little bit here. Just answer these questions. Give me some nice full sentence answers, okay? What do you do for fun? Roshni, yeah, you can. If you feel that your speaking interview was rushed, might not get too far, but absolutely you have the right to ask, why was it so short? Why was it only 10 minutes? Yeah, you can. You can definitely make a complaint to the test center, sure. They might not do much about it, but you can. You can send an email to ielts.org, Roshni, if you felt that was the case, okay? All right, students, so let's get into the speaking. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Okay, give me a full sentence answer. This is just to warm up. This is just to start getting you thinking about using full sentences, paying attention to grammar, paraphrasing the words of the question, thinking about interesting answers with examples. So what do you do for fun? This is just the warm-up. Then we'll get to the cue card in a moment here. I just want to kind of switch your brain into English mode so that it's working very well by the time we get to the cue card. Of course, in the real IELTS, that's why you have part 1 first. This could be a part 1 question. And it's kind of nice to get these easier thoughts out first. So what do you do for fun? Li Ying, I'm glad that you read my email. Make sure to log into your account. Make sure it works. If you have any trouble, let me know. Okay. Ferdovs says, I frequently play football with my friends and go to the nearest park to participate in activities. Yeah, and Ferdovs, use the question. So whenever I want to enjoy life, I frequently play football with my friends and go to the nearest park to participate in activities. Sure, Ferdovs, since you're the first one to answer, I'll use your answer and I'll add a little bit to it, okay? Go to the nearest park for some activities like sport disc. In fact, I was just there yesterday for a picnic with family. Okay, so for Dobbs, there's a little bit of an adjustment there. So here I'm reflecting the question. Everybody repeat after me. Whenever I want to enjoy life, I play football with friends or go to the nearest park for some activities like sport disc. In fact, I was just there yesterday for a picnic with family. Okay, that's a nice high-level answer for Dobbs. All right, let's take a look at some other ones here. Li Ying. We'll go with Danish first. Danish says, most of the time I'm a bit busy with my job, but of course in my leisure time I play cricket with my friends and also go to a recreational place to have fun. Okay, Danish, it's good that you got the word fun in there. Danish, you don't need to say most of the time I'm busy with my job, but it's kind of like you start off topic. Okay, I've seen a lot of students do that, Danish, where they start off topic. It's not a good idea. You really want to start on topic. So start with, in my leisure time, I play cricket with my friends and also go to a recreational place to have fun. Unfortunately, I'm often busy with my work. So if anything, you can finish off topic, but you shouldn't. You should just focus on the question. There's so much content that you can give for the question, Danish, that you really don't need to go off topic like I'm usually busy with work. It's like, oh, what? I'm not asking you about that. I'm asking you about what you like to do for fun. Li Ying says, I like to do sports for fun. Actually, like badminton, playing with my colleagues and friends. We usually play during lunch hour in the weekdays. Cool, Li Ying, yeah. Li Ying, it's a good answer. Be very careful with your intonation when you're using actually in an awkward flow like that. So Li Ying, it has to sound like this. I like to do sports for fun. Actually, like badminton, playing with colleagues, okay? I like to do sports for fun, actually. It's kind of weird. Most of the time, Li Ying, we would go with, actually, I like to do sports for fun, but it's a very colloquial form of English, and I don't recommend using actually like that in your speaking. Okay? All right. Harminder says, I do lots of activities. Harminder, don't use the word things. Zero value. So I do lots of activities for fun, like listen to music at high volume, hang out with friends and family. Just last week, I went to Fun City in Patiala with my family and enjoyed a plethora of water games. Cool, Harminder. I love your example at the end. It's great. One important correction, Harminder, is don't use the word things. It's a very low value or zero value word. Always find a better noun. Kisi, I usually hang out with my friends for enjoyment. Nice paraphrasing, Casey. Such as shopping and playing badminton. Just yesterday, me and my girlfriend went to the mall and got new pair of shoes. Right, Casey? Nice little example to finish it off. Amarjeet says, I like to listen to music and hang out with my family and friends for entertainment. Nice paraphrase, Amarjeet. It's lots of fun and frolic. For me, just last Sunday, I went to the Golden Temple with my best friend, Manpreet. Good. Careful, Amarjeet. Frolic is a little bit different. We usually say frolic in the swimming pool. Frolic is like when you're kind of doing this, okay? You are having fun and you're throwing your body around, so you're frolicking. We usually frolic in water, so keep that in mind, Amarjeet. We frolic in water, okay? Frolic means to move the body sporadically. Preeti says, I hang out with my friends and family at the lakeside. Just last Sunday, I visited and enjoyed what? Something a lot, Preeti. So I enjoyed the something lake a lot. There's a missing object there, to be clear. Okay. Zainab says, I usually watch TV shows as an activity for fun, as well as read books for enjoyment. I just finished Big Little Lies on Saturday. Zainab, good. Don't use used to when you have a general question like, what do you do for fun? It's not what did you do for fun or what did you used to do for fun. It's what do you do for fun? All right. Let's skip the next question. I want to get to part 2. Let's just go to this third question here. If you could go on a holiday anywhere, where would you go? So if you could go on a holiday anywhere, where would you go? So we're going to skip this question just to give us more time for cue card part 2. And one more warm-up question for our members here. If you could go on a holiday anywhere, where would you go? To all of our viewers, make sure you repeat these sentences. So many of our members are very strong Band 6, 6.57 students. And once I correct their responses, they become Band 8, 8.5, maybe even 9 responses. So make sure to repeat them as I say these, okay? Next class, you will be able to comment also. So in this class, make sure to practice your speaking. It's a good chance for viewers who are not members to focus on speaking since you're not focusing on typing. Okay. For Dobbs, I know you preloaded your answer for the animal because you saw it behind me on the board. Just careful with that because we're skipping that question this time. So we're going right to question 3. If you could go on a holiday anywhere, where would you go? So for Dobbs, record that response and send it to me later in an email. McConan says, I really want to go to Israel because it's the place Jesus was born, and I believe that this is holy land. I believe with one L on holy, McConan. Okay, McConan, it's not bad. Make sure to reflect the full grammar of the question. Okay. Now, I know in natural speaking, we don't always do this, but on the IELTS, you should. Okay. So you should use the conditional part of the question. Like, if I could go anywhere, I would really want to go to Israel because it's the place Jesus was born, and I believe the land is holy. Okay. Hermes says, if I went on a holiday, I would go to the UK because it's a great place with a loving culture, landscape, and women. All right, Hermes. Some nice explanation. McConan, Hermes, both of you gave some good reasons for why you want to go, which is good. Ava, good to see you in class. Ava says, to be honest, I have never been in Japan before, but I heard it is beautiful. So if I could go on a vacation anywhere, that would be Japan. Not that's would be. Ava, but simply that would be. The apostrophe S is that is. It's kind of strange, okay? It's not the right grammar. So that would be Japan. Now, if you want to paraphrase Japan, Ava, so you're not repeating Japan, Japan, then you could say that would be the land of the rising sun. Japan is called the land of the rising sun because it's so far to the west. Okay, so the land of the rising sun, of course, for Europeans, it's the east, but for us North Americans, it's so far to the west. So one more time, Ava, it should sound like, to be honest, I have never been in Japan before, but I've heard that it's beautiful. So if I could go on a vacation anywhere, it would be the land of the rising sun. Danish says, I would love to go to a place called Ladakh, which is located in the state of Jammu, the northern region of India. This is famous for its freezing temperatures and a most elegant location with all types of activities. Like what, Danish? Ice climbing? Skiing, perhaps? Mountaineering? So give me a little bit. I'm curious what you mean with all types of activities. Okay. Ferdov says, if I could have a chance to go on a vacation, it would definitely be China because there are many different types of historical buildings. Yeah, and China is very rich culturally. There are many different kinds of cultures as well. All right. Oh, Danish, I see, like skating and skydiving. Okay, Kisi says, if I had enough time, I would like to go to Paris. There's a missing two there, Kisi. If I had enough time, I would like to go to Paris because I've never been to France, and this is the land of art and my dream place to visit since childhood. Okay, Kisi, make sure you get there sometime, Kisi, if you've been dreaming about it. Make the time. Set aside the time. Life is short. It's meant to be lived. France is beautiful. Paris is great. I have been there. I have had the fortune of visiting Paris. So check it out. Kisi, you don't need a period after Paris. It's just one sentence. The because is a small b and continues from the if. All right. Li Ying, I would like to go to Portugal, which is situated along the coast of the Mediterranean and partly the Atlantic Ocean. I've heard from my friends who just visited last month that Portugal is a beautiful country with great food. Indeed, Li Ying, I would actually like to go there as well. Portugal is great for surfing, and I would love to do some surfing in Portugal as I like to surf. Li Ying, Portugal is not close to the sea. It's on the sea, okay? So the Mediterranean and I believe the Atlantic, of course, as well, are along the shores of Portugal. So it's situated on the sea, on the seaside, okay? And people are open-minded, sure. Amarjeet says, I will go to Goa Beach on holidays if I have the opportunity because there are a lot of adventure activities like skydiving, scuba diving, and bike riding also. Very good. Jayaram says, I would love to go to Sri Lanka. I would love to go, Jayaram. The would is important because it's a conditional question. Okay? I would love to go to Sri Lanka because it's the best place to visit for its famous history, and it's located between the Bay of Bengal and the Pacific Ocean. Therefore, I could relax on the beach and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Jayaram, very good. Okay, I'll borrow a little bit of Portugal. All right. Given that I had the opportunity to vacation anywhere, I would love to visit Portugal for a couple of weeks to relax and enjoy the beach. As well, it is a surfer's paradise, and as an avid surfer, this would be a ton of fun. Okay, so there's my answer. Repeat after me. If you could go on a holiday anywhere, where would you go? Many of you cleverly realize you should give the reason for why. Given that I had the opportunity to vacation anywhere, I would love to visit Portugal for a couple of weeks to relax and enjoy the beach. As well, it is a surfer's paradise, and as an avid surfer, this would be a ton of fun for me. All right, students, so good warm up. Hopefully, most of you are now thinking in English. Your brain is working in English, and we can go to our Part 2 cue card. Here we go. Part 2. Part 1 is over. So the examiner says that is the end of Part 1. Now for Part 2, here's a card. Please do not turn that over until I tell you to do so. The card has some questions on it. You will have 1 minute to think about your answers. Here's some note paper, and here's a pencil. You may take notes if you wish in the 1 minute. After the 1 minute, you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Are you ready to begin? And then you say, yes, I am. The examiner will say, okay, turn over the card. Your 1 minute begins now. And your 1 minute is lots of time, so you don't panic. You remember your steps. Okay? So you turn over the card. Step number 1, you read the card carefully. Okay? So, Part 2, think of a time when you were lucky. Where did this happen? When was it? Who were you with? Why were you lucky? And how did you feel about it? Ooh, okay. So, we've carefully read the questions. We know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions to answer in this case. And then my next step is what? What do I do after I carefully read the card in about 10 seconds? So I've read the card. It took me about 5-10 seconds maximum. And then step number 2 is what? What's my second step? Again, as long as you stay calm, you go through these steps, you'll do just fine, okay? Zainab says, determine the subject. Yeah, that can be part of step 2. Sure, and in a way it is. What is the subject, Zainab, in this case? So what's the subject? Yeah, Ferdov says it's an event. Okay. So determine that this is an event. It's a lucky time. That's the subject, right? That's what we're talking about. And I can see that many of you have realized this, that, okay, this is an event. Sure. All right. What do I need to keep in mind when I talk about an event? So if I'm talking about an event, what do I need to make sure to focus on in my 2 minutes? And this is very important because sometimes students might try to just answer the questions on the card, run out of ideas to say, so they stop after 30 seconds. Then they just start repeating the same information again and again. I see that very often in Part 2 where students run out of ideas and then they just repeat. It's not good, okay? You have to remember that when you're talking about an event, Preeti says you have to think about the location, where it happened, the time, okay? So Preeti, that's good. Just instead of thinking about when and where, think about, instead of the question marker, think about the actual noun. So the time, the location, okay? the time, the location. Li Ying says the reason for the event. Absolutely, that's a big one. Okay. Ferdov says, who was there? Yeah, and instead of who was there, again, students, I know that I've done that in the past too, where I use the questions, but it is better to think about this as the actual noun. So location, time, reason, because in your speaking, you don't want to say when it happened was. Instead, you want to say the location of this event or the time that it happened, the reason for it. So these are actually usable words in your speaking. When, where, who, they're not really usable words in your speaking. Does that make sense? Now, Ferdov says the attendees, and that's the usable word, right? Ferdov's, so attendees or people present, yeah. Okay. So you talk about the location, the time, the reason, the attendees, and there's one more, and amazingly, this is the one, anytime I say event, this is the one that somehow is forgotten, but it's the most important one to think about. Okay? It's the forgotten but very important element when you're talking about an event. If you talk about the location, the time, the reason, the attendees, you will often run out of ideas very quickly. But with this last one, you can keep talking for 2 minutes, no problem. And I still don't see the word anywhere. Ah, Kisi, there you go. I see it in Kisi's. Oh yeah, Kisi's like, yeah, I wrote it. Kisi, it's very close, but instead of action, I want you to think about activities. Okay. So anytime that you have a Part 2 cue card, make sure to not forget about this word. This word should be the first one. Okay, activities, location, time, reason, attendees. All right, activities. And Amarjeet says feeling. That's a good one, Amarjeet. Feelings are good to include as well, especially if it's about you. So the feeling of the event, that's definitely a smart inclusion, Amarjeet. I agree with you. Okay, all right. So step number 3, what's my next step? So step 3, I've now figured out, okay, this is all happening very quickly, step 1, step 2. So step 1, reading the questions. Step 2, identifying that it's an event, a lucky time. I need to talk about location, time, reason, attendees, activities, the feeling of it. That happens very quickly. That's in the first 10 seconds. Then I have 50 more seconds for step 3 and step 4. That's where I want to be precise. That's where I want to take some time to really narrow my ideas. So what's step number 3? It's a very important step. Let's go, members. Let's go. Get it to me. I know that there's a bit of delay in the video. Roshni says, think about a unique topic which is easy to speak about. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So students, yeah, exactly, Ferdov. So think about 2 or 3 events, lucky events in your life. You might have to make one up. Maybe it's real. Maybe it really happened to you. But think about 2 or 3 that you might be able to speak about. Okay. Practice this at home. Train yourself to think of at least 2. Okay, it could be very troublesome if you're only thinking about one such situation. So think of 2 to 3 possible choices. If you have to spend a few extra seconds on this, it's worth it. Okay, this is a worthwhile investment of your time because it could really make a half a band, even a full band score difference what you choose to answer. Okay, so think of 2, 3 possible choices and pick the one that you feel is the easiest to talk about and hopefully somewhat unique. Okay, so that means not all students are picking this topic. Okay, so let's do that. So what would be an event where a person is lucky? Give me some events where a person is lucky or is considered to be lucky. What are some common situations where people feel that lady luck is on their side? So give me some thoughts on that one. So Dana says, getting sick before an exam and still doing very well. Okay, so let's simplify that. Danish, doing well on an exam. Yep, so doing better on an exam that you might have otherwise thought you'd do poorly on. Ferdov says, becoming a father. Yeah. Yes, and for those of you who are parents, that would probably be a good choice. I'm a dad, as many of you know, also, and certainly I feel extremely fortunate to be a parent, a father. Preeti says, how about the casino? Okay, so winning money at a casino, sure. McConan, very good. Not scholarship, McConan, but a scholarship. It's a scholar, different word, McConan, but you've got the right idea. It's a scholar, not school. Scholar, scholarship. A scholar is a student. A scholar is a person who is an academic, kind of like a school scientist. It's called a scholar, somebody who writes, reads, discovers, scholar. Yeah, there you go, McConan, scholarship. So okay, getting a scholarship. Absolutely, that's a smart one. So getting a scholarship. Amarjeet says, winning a singing competition. And here, I'll throw one out at you. Yeah, Danish says getting better after an accident. Ferdov says winning the lottery. Okay, lots now, students. That's enough. So winning lottery. How about winning money at a horse race? Okay, and I'll explain why I threw that in there in a moment. Okay. Ava says to go to a place or concert where you have never been before, but you really wanted to go. Ava, that's conceptually good, but in the IELTS exam, you would want to have a specific idea, like a Guns N' Roses concert front row. Okay, so you'd really want to have a specific idea. You have to be careful, Ava, not to try to think of a general idea and then really get lost in your speaking. So you have to be specific, visualize the specific event. Okay? All right. So we have lots here. Doing well on an exam, becoming a parent, winning money at a casino, getting a scholarship, winning a singing competition, winning the lottery, winning money at a horse race, and let's go avoiding a car accident. Throw one more in there. Okay, I really want to train you to pick the best possible choices. Which one of these do you think would be the best choice that is unique and it's fairly easy to talk about? Making this choice, viewers, members, can be the difference of a half a band to a full band score. So making the right choice can absolutely be the difference between a 6.5 and a 7 band on your IELTS speaking. Okay, so you have to be very quick and critical in this step of your part 2. Okay, so Ferdov says winning the lottery. That would be number 1. So we have 1 vote there. Roshni says, just pick one, Roshni. Don't be divided. So avoiding a car accident or winning money at a horse race could be number 1. Okay, so we have 1 there. Preeti says, how about scholarship or a casino? Casey says scholarship or casino. And there was 1. Preeti says scholarship or casino. Preeti, I'm just going to go with your first one, which is scholarship. Okay, decide on 1, not 2. Winning a singing competition, Ava says, is quite unique. So that one. Okay. All right. So so Li Ying says scholarship. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. So I'll give you my thoughts on this, and then you can decide. There is no perfect answer, students. So there is no I'm 100% right, you're wrong. This is debatable. This is subjective. It's up to the individual. If you grew up with horses, if you know a lot about horses, then a horse race could be a good choice because you have probably talked about horses lots in your life. You know about them. You maybe know a little bit about horse racing and so on. So that could be the right choice. If you've applied for scholarships, if you've received a scholarship, then this could be a good one. Okay, especially since many of you are students, it's very likely that getting a scholarship is a good choice. Of course, with scholarships, we never know who the competition is. It's kind of hidden from you. So you do have to be kind of lucky to get a scholarship because perhaps there's a very, very smart student who just did not apply for that scholarship. So you were the best choice in that particular situation. So I highly agree that scholarship is a very clever choice. Okay. Avoiding a car accident is strange luck. It's luck that you're lucky because something bad didn't happen, not because something good happened. So avoiding something bad is lucky, but it's a different kind of luck than gaining something positive. And I think it's easier to discuss talking about getting a positive in life and being lucky than avoiding a negative in life and being lucky. So this is a little bit difficult to clearly discuss. Okay, maybe you might want to try it. Could be okay. Winning a singing competition, that's not really luck. That's more hard work, in my opinion. So winning a singing competition, unless maybe there's an amazing singer there who happens to fall off the stage and they can't sing, and that's why you win. But that would be kind of weird. Okay, it's possible, but that would be kind of weird. I think getting a scholarship is a very good one for this. Okay, becoming a parent only if you're an actual parent. Winning money at a casino, I think, would be not unique, so many students would talk about that. Winning the lottery, for Dobbs, I think that would be one that many people would make up and talk about. Okay? So money at a casino or money on the lottery, that's something that a lot of students would try to make up and discuss in the 2 minutes. I definitely would not choose these ones. So the lottery and the casino are no-go. Okay, those are absolute no-go. The ones that you could are maybe horse race, scholarship, doing well on an exam, or becoming a parent, if that's a part of what you've experienced. Dana says finding the love of your life. That could also be one too. So that's kind of like Danish. That's kind of like becoming a parent. So finding true love. Okay. Now, of course, finding true love, that would be very unique to each person. So Danish, if you have a great story about finding the love of your life in a coffee shop or in the gym, in an exercise class or wherever, then absolutely, that could be a good one to talk about. Yeah, absolutely, Danish. If you found the love of your life, that can be considered a very lucky situation. Okay, so you can be very fortunate, and you can talk about that because that's going to be unique. That's even if others talk about that, each situation is unique. So that's a good choice, Danish. All right, for our purposes, why not? Let's talk about getting a scholarship. So getting a scholarship and being lucky to get the scholarship. Let's do that one. All right. So let's focus on gaining this scholarship. Of course, we need to plan. When was it? Where was it? So location to apply for the scholarship. Okay, this is our next step. So we've chosen get a scholarship. Okay, so where do you apply for the scholarship? Let's do this planning as quick as possible. Just give me some notes, members. Give me some notes. When, where, who, why. Give me your thoughts as quickly as possible. Let's build this up. Very good, Preeti. Preeti says quickly. Sure, why not? Cambridge University. Okay. Give me more. Great start, Preeti. Just get it out fast. So Cambridge University. What kind of a scholarship? Studying what, Jayaram? University studies, sure. What kind of... Okay, it's the Indian scholarship. Indian government scholarship for higher education. All right, how much? How much money? What kind of support? Okay, so visualize the situation. You have about 20, 30 seconds to get all these notes down. Okay. Ferdov says $30,000. Yeah, yearly, let's say. Yeah, don't be shy, students. Shoot for the stars. Cambridge University is very expensive. £30,000 per year. Okay? Cover tuition and living cost. Okay, notice the nice vocabulary that's coming into this one. Okay? Danish, careful with that. You might get lost in details. So try to think big. In 2 minutes, if you're talking about being lucky to get a scholarship, there's a lot of information there. Okay? Give me some more information. So Cambridge University, Indian government scholarship for higher education. Why were you lucky? Don't forget that question. Why were you lucky? Who participated in this scholarship? How many other candidates or applicants for this scholarship? Give me some more information. So think about that. Okay, Li Ying says, it's 1 out of 100 or 1,000. Yeah, Li Ying, good. Yeah, a little bit more realistic. So 1,000 applicants. Okay, that's why you're lucky. You have to remember the focus of this question, right? Okay, good. So needs band 8.5 on IELTS and a GPA grade point average of 95% for undergraduate. Sure. Okay, what do you want to study too? Don't forget that, right? So, okay. All right. Get your first sentence out. I'm pushing you right now, members, to move a little bit faster, not only because our class time is running short, but I want you to move quick, okay? So, step 5 is your first sentence. Give me your first sentence, students. What could be your first sentence for this cue card topic? Again, when you're coming up with your first sentence, maybe look at the card really quickly. Again, think of a time when you were lucky, okay? Roshni says they loved my statement of purpose, my SOP. Yeah, sure. Joanne says it's for medicine. Yeah, so those are all good elements. I think we all have a clear picture in our heads now. Let's get our first sentence down on the paper so that we can say it quickly as soon as the examiner says your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. As soon as they finish that ing, speaking, it's like you should almost be ready to go. A time when I felt very fortunate was recently, 2 months ago, when I got a scholarship to study at Cambridge University. Boom, away it goes, okay? That first sentence has to be coming right after, within 1 to 2 seconds of the examiner finishing the word. Please start speaking. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, a time when I was very fortunate. Okay, that quick. Don't waste time there. Well, give me your first sentence, students. Give me your first sentence. Here's mine. An exceptionally lucky time for me was just 2 months ago when I received a full scholarship to study medicine at Cambridge University. Okay. Ferdov says, I was very happy and fortunate when I got a scholarship from my government to study at Cambridge University. Ferdovs, that's good. Put the word lucky or fortunate, Ferdovs, in there somewhere so that the examiner right away knows that you're focusing on the card. So lucky time is essential. So either lucky time or fortunate time, one of those two, you have to make sure that's in your first sentence. So the examiner strongly feels that you are focusing on the card. Okay. Danish says, well, I was lucky most of the time, but the most memorable. No, Danish, please stop doing that. Too many students do that. The most of the time I was like, really, Danish? No. A very memorable and lucky moment of my life. Start like that, Danish. A very memorable and lucky moment of my life is when I got a $9,000 waiver from the Indian government. I feel that for lack of applicants, I choose from for too complicated, Danish, on the end. Okay? Keep that first sentence simple, Danish. It's something that you need to just be able to get out as soon as the examiner says, please start speaking. Keep it simple, keep it focused, Danish. A very memorable and fortunate moment of my life is when I got a $90,000 scholarship from the Indian government to study at Cambridge University. That's it, Danish. That's it. You can talk about it being for medicine or $30,000 a year and what you had to do and how many students. That's the other 1 minute, 45 seconds. Okay, Danish? Roshni says 2 months ago, Roshni, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I received a notification through Cambridge University that I got a scholarship, and I feel so lucky. Roshni, that's very good. It's nice natural English. And I feel so lucky. That's good. It's a good way to do it. Amarjeet says, well, I vividly remember a lucky moment in my life, comma, not yet, Amarjeet, just life, comma. I got an Indian government scholarship during my bachelor's degree of art at Guru Nanak Dev University. Okay, Amarjeet, that's good. That works. All right. Just, I'm not sure what the yet is there. It means like until now, but we don't use it like that, Amarjeet. Okay, so take that out. Kisi says, few years ago in 2011, I was lucky to win a full government scholarship to be an exchange student in Cambridge University for 1 year. Kisi, good. Kisi, word order. Few years ago in 2011, I was lucky enough to win a full government scholarship to be an exchange student in Cambridge University for 1 year. Not Cambridge, Cambridge University for 1 year. Preeti says, I still remember 3 months ago I was in seventh heaven and feeling extremely fortunate when I got a scholarship from Cambridge University for public health education graduate studies, Preeti. Okay. Preeti, I still remember is a bit weird because of course you remember 3 months ago, okay? Winning a scholarship especially. So I still remember is a strange use of that expression. I still remember, Preeti, we only say I still remember if it's like in my childhood. I still remember in my childhood when I was 12 years old, I won a box of chocolates in my school. Then you could use I still remember. But 3 months ago, Preeti, of course you remember that. So I still remember is weird. Li Ying says, 2 months ago, I received a scholarship offer finally from okay, I'm going to fix that, Li Ying. That's going a little bit weird there. So 2 months ago, I received a scholarship from Cambridge University, which was my dream come true, because I have wanted to attend this institution all my life, and I was waiting more than a year for this scholarship to be decided. I was thrilled and felt fortunate. Li Ying, it's a bit complex. You're putting a lot of ideas together in the 4 lines. Just be careful with that. Okay. All right. Joanne says, an unforgettable moment in my life is when I got a full scholarship for a nursing degree from the Haitian government 10 years ago. Joanne, you have a lot of repetition there. Careful. Okay. An unforgettable moment I could never forget. It's like you're repeating. Okay. The exact same. So I could never forget the moment in my life when, or an unforgettable moment in my life is when, one or the other. Don't do both. Sounds very awkward. All right. Okay, students. So then you discuss where did you apply, how it happened, and all of this fun stuff, if you're looking at the time as I am here, is going to be your homework. Send it to me by email. As an MP3 recording. Please don't write it. Say it. So say your 2-minute response, and I will give you a little bit of feedback as best as I can and give you a score estimate. I'm out of time to finish up the rest of this. I know we only got to the first sentence here, but I thought I would just focus on that and make sure that you're on the right page with that. So focus on finishing this up. I know you can do it, okay? You have the notes. You don't need me to give you the fish. A lot of you now know how to fish. I will put a sample response up on the community chat, okay? So I will include a sample response, just like the essays that I put up yesterday. So if you checked our community board, I put up the task 1, task 2 essay on the YouTube channel for those band 9s. So I'll put up a sample response as well for you, but send me your part 2 responses to my email. My email is Adrian aehelp.com. So send it to me there, and I'll have a listen, and I'll let you know how you did, okay? And then you can check a Band 9 level response and practice that on the community board later in the week. Awesome, members. Coming up in 30 minutes, speaking part 3. Make sure to be present and participate. For all of our viewers, you can become a member of our YouTube channel. We have 4 different levels of membership. It's up to you which one to choose. You can also become a member of our premium course on our website, aehelp.com for academic, GIELTS help.com for general. Those websites, they look like this. This is the academic. Click the red button to join it. This is the general. Click that red button to join there with the green background. And that's it for this class. Hopefully see most of you in 30 minutes. You're very welcome, Amarjeet. Good to have you, Li Ying. And keep up the good studies, everyone. Bye for now.